Hey guys, Cowboy Guy here. We're gonna be playing Spiral Knights today. Hopefully this second intro goes a little better than the first one. Apologies if you were watching that. We're gonna be playing Spiral Knights, as I just said. I've logged, according to Steam, 545 hours into this, so it's something that I've played a lot of. It's been a long time since I've played it. I know they've made some changes, but I'm kind of eager to see what the gameplay's like now. It's I know they have pets. I've only played around with them a little bit the last time that I was actually trying this, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping to see how you guys like it too. We'll see. It might become a series. We'll have to play that one by ear. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with this one. I'm gonna go ahead and create a new knight instead of playing my regulars. Let you guys read too. So they actually added that intro since the last time I played this. I haven't seen that before, um, but I thought that it was a pretty nice touch. I mean, as you can see, it is not the sort of game. Looks like something happened to the feed, but if you did see that intro, it looked to me. There we go. Okay. Yeah, if you saw the intro, you can tell, even from these graphics, that this is not meant to be a graphically stunning work of art. It's very cartoony. It's very cutesy, silly. So we'll just go ahead. We'll check out some of these options real quick. See what we've got here. That's usually the one I tend to go with. You can't even rotate, you just hold left click either to his left or right. Alright. The pigtails. Which, unless they've changed some things, that was always the only way that some people would try to indicate male versus female in this game. But we'll try this one this time around. Let's check out the different armors real quick. And there shouldn't be too much more customization after this stuff. Probably just colors. You can choose your colors. To a certain extent, at least. Maybe. Not crazy about that one. Let's see. Oh, we reached the end. Yeah, you only have a few options for the starting armor, which isn't really that big of a deal because unless you're using it as costume armor to show, you're gonna have upgraded armor very soon after touching down anyways. So let's go with this one. We'll try, and then design. Oh, okay, this is the color scheme, it looks like. So, I mean, we do have a few options here. I mean, it's nothing crazy. That's certainly not what the focus was. But it's enough to differentiate a little bit. And, let's see. Oh, there are more colors actually past this, but these are just for the armor itself, it looks like. And, let's see, we'll go with this cool look, I think. I was thinking of going with the toasty one, the red, but we'll try the cool one. Alright. 2 accessories. Oh, okay, the headband over there. Some horns, looks like. Made headband. They, if you're planning on taking it seriously like a AAA title, then you're probably going to be disappointed. I think I'll probably just go with the V rather than have nothing. And next we got a plume, ribbon. Okay, I don't remember some of these, so I guess you could alter it a little bit if you were trying to differentiate male, female. Comm unit seems likely. Mecha wings aren't bad either. I go with the comm unit though. And okay, now you just alter the height. There's only 3 options. We'll go with normal. And then you have some eyes that you can alter. Looks like there's can't zoom or anything. Alright. The happy eyes. Let's see, we'll probably go with these determined ones. We'll try that. And I'm going to go for a nice shade of like a cyan is what I'm gonna pick on this one. Alrighty. Let's hit next. Enter a name. Let's just go ahead and use can't capitalize in the middle. So we're gonna go ahead with the stream name. I'm gonna pick that one. And let's get going here. You'll have some loading screens. Usually not too bad from my experience though. And now we got a tutorial. So you can turn around with the mouse. That's where you're facing. And your WASD is up, down, left, right. You can move on diagonals. Can't really move any more precisely than that. You can attack with whatever weapon you have. With your left click. A mouse scroll is what I'm using to go ahead and flip between weapons rather. What happened? Alright, so now we gotta go and meet this guy, Rendon. And it's showing us how to attack. So you can, the sword has a double, or rather a triple combo, and that's pretty much where you can top out. You can also left click and hold, and you can get a charge attack, which should have some more knockback. Some other ones have other different effects. We've got our gun here. You only need to reload it in this case, if you fire 3 times, if you give a little pause, you can usually avoid the reload, which is one of the things that the expert gunslingers, as they would refer to them in the game, are good at. And the gun has a charge attack also. So, some monsters up here. We got some jellies. They're jelly. We're gonna just make quick work of them. You can cut these down. That's some of the currency of the game. And the heart does not matter for us because we're at full health. Now, you may have seen with that jelly, when he's about to attack, like a light and some colors and, you know, spiked lights kind of show up. And you can see the red above him also, which is showing as he's getting close that I'm the one he's going after. I can determine that from a glance, if I remember correctly. But alright, so we're just gonna clear out stuff here, try and collect some coins, see if we get a little something for later. And he's too far away to even notice, so we're just gonna sit there and shoot him. And up we go. You can see some more of the map down there, it looks like. Hurt, use hearts. Yeah, these always contain hearts. Varying amounts of hearts. I don't believe... Oh yes, you can use the spacebar also to cycle with your weapons. I don't believe the hearts have... there's an item that you could pick up that gives you a higher max health for the set of stages that you're in the middle of. But I don't believe those drop from there. We'll definitely see some of those as the playthrough continues. Yep, so now it's telling us you might want to use your handgun here, because otherwise you're going to blow up, or you'll get hurt at least. We only have 5 little pips of health. Tiny shield. You can use your shield with a right click and hold. If you time it, as it's coming up, you can actually knock people back with it. So it's a useful way to try and gain some space. Yeah, there's Rendon. Have you seen a familiar face now? Yeah, I would be too after crash landing on this planet. It's a rescue camp up ahead. Head north. Stay here for now. Located. You know, all right, so he's the point of contact rather. Make sure. Right mouse to use your shield. So now they're kind of telling you how to play the game a little bit, teaching you a little bit about the mechanics. We'll check out what's up ahead, but first we're going to take out all of these bushes and hope that we find, and you'll see now. Oh, I was just far enough away that did not hurt me. But we'll hope that we get a little extra money out of this. So not that it's much, but every little bit helps. You have extra currency. And we are through with everything here. There's a couple other mechanics that haven't really demonstrated yet, which I'm sure it'll be showing us. Otherwise, if it doesn't, I'll pick it up myself. Alright, so this is heat. And that is basically, it's more or less equipment XP. So you have to level up your equipment in order to make it stronger. And eventually, once it fills up its bar, you have to, there's a crafting option where you can upgrade it. Alright, so they seem to know I was coming. Looks like we have some, oh, there's a turret right there. So we're gonna have to deal with these guys. And that guy. And we get locked in. That's gonna happen a lot in this game. There are lots of situations where you'll get locked into a room and have to fight and clear. It's a set number of waves, but you have to clear the waves and whatnot. and then when you clear enough stuff, you can move on. See, I can't actually do much damage, but I'm trying. Just kind of firing shots, because I do not want to get anywhere near that thing. I don't know how strong it is. See, I'm trying to pause just a second, so I don't have to reload. And we can pick up all this stuff. And off we go. We're done with this place. I will break these though, just for good measure, in case there's anything useful in there. But I'm at full health, so I'm almost positive that you will not find anything other than health in those. And we're at the rescue camp, so we're through the first stage. Not too bad, and you can see the heat already leveled up all the equipment. If something's already at max level, it won't even show up on that. You'll see that after you finish every stage, based on whatever equipment you had out for the mission. So we should be expecting... Let's try and do this also. Alright. Just want to make sure I can keep chat in view while I'm doing this. Rescue camp's facing a crisis. Good thing I'm here with my newbie equipment. So I lost a lot of people. Alright. So we need to get power to the camp before night, so that way they can defend themselves. Alright, so we're gonna go see Renda, and then we're gonna sort out this generator business, and we'll talk to everybody else here too while we're here. And here's the description about leveling items. You got heat stored in the gear, you use fire crystals, and you upgrade it. You basically level it up. You can actually access it in missions as long as there's an arsenal, which is basically just a place to swap out your gear and pick what you want to go in with. It's usually at the start of a level. Alright. Right, there are different tiers of the fire crystals that you need to level it up also, but you still do need to have max heat. And that's right, you can add more to increase the success chance. Yeah, so it's kind of up to you based on the percentages, whether you want to use more or whether you want to just try it as, you know, the minimum rather, and see if that works. That's something you got to figure out. And yeah, we'll open it since we had some stuff. It's all ready to be upgraded, but we have no fire crystals, so it doesn't really matter. And you can see the possible bonuses. There's a random chance. I don't know what the random percentage is, but you know that you're going to get whatever's in the enhancements if it succeeds. And then you could potentially get what's under here. So heat bonus of 25%. I assume that's any incoming for the next level, maybe. If you do the middle of the road option, then you could get the same bonus, and you could potentially skip straight over level 2 into level 3, so you might be tempted to do that. And if you put in the max, which it's always 1 times, you know, whatever the rate is, you're going to wind up with 1, 2, 3 should be the ratio. And it looks like that's exactly the same as the previous one, but with higher levels and different gear, you won't see that being the same. So, plus also the percentage chance will change up here. And you can see how many you need for each one, how many you have. So, that's how the forge works, but we don't have any crystals anyway, so we can't use that yet. Here's Rendon. Let's talk to these recruits first. Yeah, fire seems like a good idea if we have no light. That guy did not do so well with them. They seem to have lost a lot of people. It's not exactly a good time here at the rescue camp. He's happy with us. See what Rendon has to say. Alright, so I'm cleared for missions. So missions are, it's kind of like just a window, a menu that you can open up. And in general, you're only going to be using it when you're in town. To queue up a mission, you can go to a ready room, or rather the ready room is where you sit, I believe, when you're just waiting. I gotta check on that. But you go to a room that's basically like a lobby, and there's some stuff based on the level that you can buy if you want to pay for it. You can set up your gear, and then when everyone's ready, everyone who's in your party gets on the elevator, and then it goes down. So yeah, he's just explaining missions. You talk to people sometimes. You go on combat missions, get better gear, like on the power supply. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's true. We don't really know, but it looks like we actually completed a mission that we didn't know about, because it didn't tell us that we had access to that stuff yet. So here's 15 fire crystals, so we can go ahead and upgrade the gear that we had already. So we'll do that before we head out. Prestige is really just a vanity thing. It puts one of those badges next to your name when someone hovers over you, if you have enough. And Sparks of Life, it's basically a revive item for you or for a party member. And you can buy those, but if I remember correctly, they cost a little bit. I typically try not to use them unless there's really no other option. I'd rather run the mission again in general. And yeah, we don't really need to worry about him. Let's see what this guy has to say. Okay, you're on edge. That sounds about right. We're at a rescue camp. That's pretty normal, especially when a bunch of people were lost last night. Power, yeah, that's what that night Greta told us already. So we have that going on, and there's a couple people up here. Alright, he's annoyed that the turrets don't work. Be careful up ahead. Why? Oh yeah, we wouldn't want to fall. Alright, there's an elevator there, but it's dead. And they don't have enough equipment for everybody. Well, that's fair. But alright, let's see about upgrading the gear that we have. So that's over here. Shortcut is U. And I'm just going to do the minimum. I'm going to save these crystals. I'd rather just hold on to them for now. And click on Forge, and here we go. Everything was 100% chance, as we can see it's up here. So it automatically goes to the next one. Remove the sword from the list because I've already upgraded it. It'll only show you stuff that you have the ability to upgrade. So once it gets enough heat to fill up the level, then you can upgrade it if you have the crystals. Alright. We'll just keep going with this. It'll at least keep everything as efficient as we can get. It looked like that one had the 25% bonus. We knew there was a chance that could happen. And for the sake of showing, I over here is your inventory. So close the forge up. Here's everything that we've got. There's a whole bunch of categories that we don't have anything in yet. Rarity, we've got the crystals, we got the sparks of life for reviving people or reviving yourself. And armor, shield, helmet, handgun, sword. That's all of our gear right now. So we have a ways to go, but you can compare things also. The heat bonus 25%. I assume, I don't know if that's going to hold after we level it again, but for now at least we've got that. So that does it for this. Let's go ahead and check out the missions that we just were told about, and this arrow has been pointing to for a while to try and get our attention. And the ranked missions are pretty much like the campaign in this game, so if you're looking to progress on that end, that's where you're going to go. Alright. Power, means of defending, restore the power, we knew all this already. Here are the rewards that we can get. This is the short version of what they want us to do. And you can change the difficulty, normal, advanced, elite. You can choose one of these 4 buttons also, whether you want to join someone else's party, create a public one, create a private one, or play solo. We're going to go ahead and play solo for now. We'll move through the early stuff like this, and then maybe we'll join some parties a little bit later. Forge Night again. Yeah, we already know about the forge, and it doesn't seem like there's an efficient way to get out of the conversation. What do you have to say? You can use the arsenal station, right? So that's how you can swap out your gear before you head into a mission, or at the first entryway when you go to a new floor. Just to be prepared. Yeah, change equipment, that's cool, but we don't have any other equipment because we looked at the inventory before. But this is where you do it anyway. You can choose to, if you had something else, you could choose to equip in the respective slot. You have costume items. There's a whole bunch of achievements. A lot of them are on Steam too, if I recall. And you can see your rank also. You're a recruit right now. We're up to mission 1-2. We have 10 prestige. That's the name, and here we are. Cool. Character options. You can, by default, it doesn't allow people to look at your equipment, but you can choose to allow it here. Save a loadout. You can come back to this. That way you don't have to choose everything by hand. And here's the max health increase item I was talking about before. They're giving us one to start this off, I guess just to kind of demo what it's about. And you can see it says 1 on it, so we know that's going to give us 1 extra bar of health up here. There it goes. And since we're here, it's just going to go ahead and fill up anyway. We also can see what we've got as far as, it's called a Vitapod, what we've got down here on the bottom. But here's an elevator, which amazingly is working even though there's no power in this place. But yes, when you get on with everyone, doors would raise the gate and you'd have this option. You'd see everybody else here. You could skip the wait if everybody hits advance now. You could quit and pop back to town if you wanted to. So that's where you do all that stuff. Alrighty. Let's see. Right now it's telling us about charge attacks. We already knew about that. I mentioned that earlier, how you can left click and hold. And there's a button up ahead that we can see actually from here. And what that's going to do is we're going to go ahead and push this button and it'll drop the gate. Now it might not always be right in front of you, but usually those are gate related. And it'll go ahead and open something for us. And here we go. We can knock these boxes out. From my experience, those never have anything under them. And we picked up an item there too. It was a little vial you might have seen. Which, let me get rid of this. If you click the lock, you can hover over things. Let me take care of this guy first though. And I'm gonna demo the shield. Also, you can bounce people back with it. Oh, is it not working yet? That's strange. But yeah, so you can see it just absorb the attack. The game's like, you want to show how to do that? Nah, we're not going to allow that yet. And you saw that box also that I just picked up. It tells you down the bottom left here what I picked up. It was a material item, which we would use for crafting later. It's called scrap metal, the one that we just grabbed. And usually it depends on the enemy that is dropping an item to determine what the loot table is. So, oh, here's another turret. I just got more scrap metal, and I got something that just boosts my defense for a little while. You can see it actually in the top left. You can see that there's an icon that's counting down, and that's how long it's a temporary defensive boost. But right, these vials. So we clicked the lock, and you can see over here what each one does. This one's a shock vial, so it will electrocute. The other one's a freeze one, it'll freeze people in place. It's all basically the status effects that exist in the game already that you can find stuff for. Yeah, we could pick this up and throw it, or we could just shoot it because we have a gun too. If we shoot it again, it's gonna flip. So sometimes you'll find these that are hooked up to multiple gates, and you'll have to, it's not like it's really a puzzle, but you're gonna have to flip it appropriately. Golden keys you can find and carry. You need to bring it over there. We can see it right up there already. So, okay, it's the same switch. It was doing that just in case we didn't realize. Now this we could pick up. It's a bomb, and since it's on this little thing over here, they'll respawn on top of that. But ooh, let's try hitting them this time, huh? It is something that you can't count on in general, but in this particular instance it is there. So feel free to use what you have accessible to you, And you can see also this like electric kind of look. The gate is locked because I need to finish off enemies. I need to finish off a wave, or a number of waves, before I can actually get through that gate. So it's letting me know that I need to clear these guys all out, maybe more waves, and then eventually that gate will come down. It's a second gate, actually. You can see all the items. I'm picking up the materials for crafting later. Some health. I'm at full health though. And you can pick up the gold key, and you have to carry it. So you can't actually use anything as far as weapons are concerned while you're carrying it. You're gonna have to put it down if you need to fight something, or hope that your friends can help take care of that. They just fire straight ahead. Interesting. That seems like a poor design choice. I could shoot him from here. And he's dead too. So alright, we are moving steadily along down here. Gotta be careful not to accidentally walk into something after it's been fired. This block over here, it's going to take any blocks that are touching it and just dissolve all of them. So sometimes you'll find a whole bunch of these and they'll be blocking your way, but if you don't disconnect some of the boxes that you can destroy, it might be touching some treasure boxes, and if you hit this, it's going to just dissolve all the way through and get rid of the treasure too. So something to be mindful of. This button you need to have everybody in the party stand on, and then it's going to lock this gate on the left, open up this one on the right. So it kind of keeps you from backtracking. You have to make sure you're ready when you see one of those. And these pots are in case you don't have any ranged weapons on you. So let's see, we've got some more heat over here, and we'll finish him off. Pick up this material, that one. Getting a lot of shards right now, which is good. We do need shards. It's a very common material though. And you can also see actually when they get close enough that they're targeted for me. Ooh, see, when hit me with that. I should have thrown my shield up, but that's okay. You can actually see though the health on the top right along with the name. Yeah, I'm just getting careless. I'm like Peppy. You can see the name, the health, and I'm not sure what the icon on the top right is, but you can also see the weakness. So there's a whole setup with that where it'll be elemental is weak to, and I don't remember exactly what the weaknesses are now, so it'll be like weak to shadow, and shadow is weak to, piercing, and whatever it is, but you can always reference that stuff too. So, and let's see, here we go, and with these guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and clear them out and gather the stuff. I'm gonna switch based on this screen over here. I'm gonna say that something is gonna happen that's not just the gate opening. Oh, well, how about that? It seemed to have not liked the fact that I was trying to get in. And you can still evade. And that was a red sword one I got for attack up. It's again temporary. And this is just like a codex basically. It'll tell you what you're about to face when you're going up against bosses. Small arsenal, old plate armor, it needs unique combination of attacks and defenses. Okay, that's great. We're just gonna keep going anyway. We're gonna hit this. Seemed like he didn't like that. I messed up something for him. He thinks we're after his power. And he wants to make sure that we never leave here alive. That's making us wait also. So people have time to read and respond and whatnot. So he's got that shield up, that pink shield. So we can't actually hurt him right now. And in the meantime, I'm just going to make sure I evade his attacks and clear out any minions that we've got over here. Just kind of waiting and hoping. There, his shield broke, so now we're going to keep shooting, keep evading, try and do as much damage as we can. I don't know if we're going to make it through the whole thing. Nope, got him before his shield went up again. So he's gone, and here's some more supplies. I'm going to go ahead and take this stuff, and it looks like we broke his other machine. Now he's really not happy. He's coming back, or so he says. Cool. Alright. So there is nothing else really in here for us, so we're just going to go ahead there's a mysterious object that we're putting on our back. So we're just gonna run through all of these crowns, and there's a little treasure room here at the end. You want to make sure you grab all this stuff because it's basically free loot for beating the boss or beating the level. And back up we go. So it's level 1, 2, and you can see everything leveled up again. You saw the armor actually leveled up faster, filled up faster because of that 25% heat bonus. And this is just a summary. You can see what items you got, how much money you got. Eventually it'll automatically move forward, or you can tell it to move right now. It'll also show you anybody else in the party, the stuff that they got, materials and crowns as well. If they happen to get equipment, it'll show that. So we got some new armor, looks like. And this has a heat bonus, or I'm sorry, a health bonus. So we'll probably use that instead. Excuse me. More fire crystals, just in case. First contact, and we can do that first. We're gonna contact HQ because we have power now. So we'll use the comm links. Yeah, there seem to be a lot of things to fill Cora in on here. That sounds like something that someone would say who has not been in danger at all. Oh, lots of people died and you had to risk your life plenty of times. Sounds like you've already had quite an adventure. And yeah, I'm surprised they already know what the clockworks are or what gremlins are. Okay, so HQ is down here, so they already have some insight. I see. Alright, so it's like gears, and they'll constantly change, which also in certain modes will change the stages that you see. It'll kind of randomize it a little bit. There used to be some systems where you could try to dictate what sort of levels to see, as opposed to now, where I think it just kind of randomizes. And we're heading to a town known as Haven. That's good, at least we've got some basic supplies over there. Alright, so we might have to head down to go up, looks like, and reach Haven, based on even this little map that they decided to throw at us. If anyone can do it, it's you, that new recruit that went and turned on the generator. So they move us forward on the track, and once you hit the end, you will rank up. More prestige, sparks of life. A new helmet that gives a bonus to gun damage, so I'll be equipping that as well. And a new sword that does bonus damage to construct types. So there's types, and there's types like constructs and gremlins, and then there's, I guess, you'll call them elements or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what the term would be, but you can also have things like elemental and shadow and piercing type. I guess it would be damage type, I'm not sure. And these turrets seem to be doing quite a number on these guys, but I am in a town-like area, so I can't use my weapon anyway. Alright, looks like we've moved forward over here. How are you, Virgil? What do you have for me? Alright. Yep. Just make sure you have some stuff. You can see my character waves every time I try and talk to an NPC. this recruit. They make you out to be a hero right from the beginning. Alright. In town we can switch up our gear too. We don't have to worry about being near an arsenal. So, equip his helmet. You can see it's on there now. I could put this as the costume helmet if I wanted to, just for appearance. And we'll equip this sword instead, the other one. And we'll equip this armor, which is going to change the look of that too. And we're just going to head on. Oh, okay, I see how this works. It's basically telling us pull up the menu for missions. So we're going to cross this chasm with Rendon, and we're going to try and reach Haven. Yeah, I haven't played it in such a long time, but I love this game as well. Let's see, Steam, I know I said at the beginning of the broadcast, but Steam says that I've logged 545 hours. So I was like, you know what, it's been a long time. I think it's time to revisit this one and see how it goes and maybe make a series out of it. I don't know, we'll have to see. But yeah, it was classic though. Yeah. When I first started playing this game is when they had Mist Energy. Were you around for that? This is Forge Knight stuff again, which was also after I started playing. Oh, okay. So, yeah, you played before I did then. Yeah, Mist Energy. That, I actually missed that because to get the game, you paid 10. Because when I came on, it was free on Steam at that point, but I knew that they had gear and all that other stuff, and you know they always have their marketplace stuff that you could buy if you wanted. Yeah, this game, Mist Energy. I miss that stuff. Mist Energy, in case you're not familiar, for others, Mist Energy was a reserve that you had, and what you'd have to do is, in order to go down an elevator of any type, you'd have to spend some of the Mist Energy, and it would slowly recharge. And you could buy more energy so you can go on missions, but otherwise you pretty much had to wait it out. So until you start reaching certain missions, once they had the missions menu, because they didn't always have that either, you had it where you had to go through the clockworks. That was before my time though, and it was, yeah, you would pretty much just wait or spend the money, because otherwise you weren't going anywhere. Or people could gift it to you also. They could pay enough to cover your elevator fee, and it also cost energy to revive too, so they could pay for that. Or you know, you could, and then you could have the crystal energy, which is what they have now. They still have that down here, and that stays for good, but and can be traded and sold and bought. But yeah, you would have to wait for that tank of 100 to fill up unless you wanted to start spending money or currency to go anywhere, or have your friends cover for you. Yep, Mist Energy. The elevators cost, that was, oof, that was a rough one. He's laughing an awful lot for being in a room full of bombs and dynamite. I don't think he thought that one through. Apparently neither did Rendon. Yeah. That was a pretty poor choice by the NPCs, but they gotta keep the story going, so I'll give him. How dare he deceive us? No need to evade anything here. But yeah, I figure I'll give this a shot. I know that Mist Energy isn't a thing anymore, and they've changed a lot of stuff. They have their what are they called? The pets, sprites or something like that. They have those now, and yeah, I figure we'll give it a go and see how things go. Maybe turn into a series. But wouldn't be opposed to doing it with other people also, if it's something that you wanted to get back into. That's what I get for turning to look at my phone for chat. I start firing off at nothing. Okay. Oh, looks like they got more company for us. Do they still have... Yeah, I haven't been able to bounce anybody with my shield yet. I used to do that all the time. Especially because I primarily did play as a gunslinger, so I needed to get that range. Some of these are just red-green, where it's a one toggle switch, and others, that's probably not going to turn off yet. And others are the purple-yellow that you saw before. Oh, so I was trying to get YouTube set up for it, but for some reason, trying to have the game in 2 spots, it wasn't liking it. So I had to call that off for now, but that was supposed to be YouTube chat. No, I guess that's not one of the ones you can break. But yeah, I was trying to keep both chats on screen for the video. Found ya. Interesting that he's willing to put himself at risk instead of just running again. Also interesting how they have, you'll probably remember this, Steak Ferret, how they have the music for Vanduke, the last boss that was in the game. I assume he still is, but I'm not sure about that. Oh, I thought I got my shield up for that. Oh well. Alright, give him a taste of his own medicine. I also remember when inflicting certain elements on different enemies would make them even harder to deal with for some reason. And we'll just kill everybody just in case. Extra money, never a bad thing. And he's gone. Should be at full, but just for the sake of doing it. Yeah, I do have my other characters. I decided to just start from scratch for the stream, but I wouldn't be opposed to playing those again. There's really one that I had that was Vanguard level, and the other was maybe through, a little past Haven, but I didn't really use them too much. One heck of an order they have there. And we're running away with the artifact. Whatever it is. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to playing them again. The other characters. Or one, primarily, but... And more treasure. Always want to make sure you loot that stuff. Oh, look. It's back up. Oh, thanks for following, Steak Ferret. Really appreciate that. It's also funny how you talk to some people in this game and they go from, if any recruit can do it, it's you, even though you just got here and did one thing, to, I never would have expected a new recruit to get out of that. Congratulations, you've saved everyone. You're a hero. Give him a salute back. Why not? Can't talk to anybody else anyway. Yeah, I wasn't sure how this one would go, just because I didn't know with such an old game if people would really catch it on Twitch or not. But I was like, you know what? I want to give it a shot again anyway, so I'll put it out there and see what happens. So thanks so much for coming. And up to Apprentice. Some new armor. Could use that. This trades the construct damage for slime damage. Everything else about the same. And we have bombs now too. First bomb at least. Of course, I'm missing all of my other gear. Yeah, that's what made me think to play it. I was looking through my Steam library earlier. I was like, what do I want to stream for tomorrow? I haven't decided yet, and I said I would put that up. I still want to at least give people a heads up. And I was looking through the library, and I was like, saw Spiral Knights on favorites. I'm like, you know what? That's the way I'm gonna go. I haven't done this in forever. And I'm just gonna go ahead and skip all this, but long and short of it for anybody else is bombs can only be actually dropped if you fully charge them. There's no standard attack like there is for this stuff. So he's probably gonna want me to, yeah, sure, we'll upgrade everything while we're here. Might as well, especially if I'm only using one crystal. We're gonna get a bunch just from doing missions. And they wouldn't really be that hard to acquire anyway outside of that, so I'm not too worried about these guys. We'll just upgrade all the things. Cool. And yeah, for reference, for anybody who doesn't know also, the levels for items go from 1 to 10, and then with certain ones there's a higher tier that you can upgrade to. So you work your way up to 10, and then you have to do a crafting recipe with that as a prereq, basically. And that's how it works, the bomb. So you have to hold it, wait until it flashes, and then you can drop it wherever you want. Yeah, the upgrading thing threw me the first time I saw it too. I'm like, heat crystals? And they threw a whole bunch at us because it was new. I think because they had them as mission rewards earlier, and they didn't want to people to be like, well, I finished the missions and now I can't get any crystals, so now I'm stuck. I have to go and buy them or something like that. Hey, Apocalypse, how's it going? We're revisiting a classic here. It's been a long time since I played this game. Hey, Saiyan Stratocaster, thanks. Good to see you here. Doing well. I was trying to figure out what to stream yesterday, and ended up looking through my Steam library, came across this and said, I haven't played that in years. Let me give that a spin. Oh yeah, totally. We have the Discord. Oh, okay, that works too. I was gonna say Discord, but I'll go ahead, since it's all recorded anyway, I'll go ahead and pull that up after the stream's over, and I'll add you. And here's some starter missions, basically. Spiral Knights, the game that teaches you to talk to strangers. And energy, which isn't what it used to be, as Steak Ferret will tell you. Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. I do want to stream this. I'm gonna be doing this one tonight. Maybe Friday. Does Friday work for you? Saturday I have another stream scheduled. And yeah, trade it, use it for all sorts of things. Cool. And we got a recipe. Awesome. Now we can make those fire crystals. So I would. I had put up that I was going to be playing this one, so I do want to at least give this another couple of hours minimum. And 10 is probably going to be my cutoff, so I do want to play this at least for 2 more. That would give me maybe 1 to squeeze something in on the end. We'll go ahead, before that even happens, we're going to go ahead and use this recipe anyway, especially since it's bound. And it's basically, don't show this again. I'll describe crafting once we get to it. But those recipes for the fire crystals are basically break down. I think it's break down, or is it build up? Yeah, it's break down the one tier higher, and you get a few extra of the lower tier, and you spend a few crowns, and that's all. So you still need to have some fire crystals to actually get anything accomplished with it. But let's see. Not really missing the health. I'm not using a sword right now anyway, so I'll go ahead and keep the Vita suit for the extra health. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave all that stuff the same. Alright. So we'll start this. It's really just a conversational one. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. It was a game that I logged a lot of hours in a long time ago, but I wanted to give it a revisit. And they're just talking about... Probably. That probably is why I'm the only one streaming it. It's also had a lot of changes over the years, so... But that's okay. I don't mind that I'm the only one giving this a spin. Right, head for the core. And that's the energy source we're looking for, is basically the story version over here. Keep doing missions and I'm sure you'll get closer. Mission interface. Yeah, okay. The arcade is what used to be the only thing that you could do, and you couldn't pick specific stages to go to. You had to do it through the randomized setup. And another mission complete. I'll check that out a little bit later. It is fun, especially if you have other people. I always like the guild halls also. And it's all tutorial stuff for a little bit here till we get into things. And show me where to buy things is basically how that goes. Yeah, it's definitely not for everybody, but it's a casual type of game. I do like when you get higher up the combat because it's not quite so, I'll say, easy. Things start to dodge more. Yeah, I haven't really found it. I mean, my first thought is just has some roguelike elements in general, but it's back in the day, it was a lot of fun. All right, you can buy recipes from this guy, weapons and gear from the other guy. That's great. And you can craft stuff at alchemy machines, is basically what that says. Yep, different gear for everybody. And back when they had mist energy still, as we were talking about before, you had to deal with... Yep, and sometimes you get the trinkets. You'd start paying to have the trinkets so that way you could have 3 weapons with you. And it was... You were kind of in a position where, with the mist energy, unless you were spending money on it, you'd have to start doing boss runs to try and make a profit on the current going rate of energy so you could buy more. Go to the advanced training hall. I think it should be letting us do some missions again soon. Shouldn't have too much left. Yeah. Nah, that's alright. We don't need a tour. The tour is probably not necessary. There's just lots of things where you can see how different mechanics work. I am going to equip that stun gun though. And you can see it's got a variant. There's 3 potential slots for variants. And the other icon over here just means that it's basically soulbound. Charge time reduction high. That'll be nice, and it has a good chance of causing a moderate level of stun, so we'll definitely be taking that over the proto gun. And visit the lab. We'll see if we can get through that quickly as well. And if I'm going too fast through this stuff, go ahead and let me know. I just don't want to bore you guys either with all the text as they're explaining the mechanics that I can probably explain on the way. And that's great. Battle sprites. That is new though, or new since I played regularly. Right, so it's basically a combat pet that you have. And they're soulbound, and the crates were lost. So they want us to go and secure them, and it's basically, because I did run this once, it's basically the game's way of showing you what each one does in combat so you can pick one. But yeah, Apocalypse, I'll check out closer to like 9 or so Eastern. I'll see about doing something else with you if that's what you're looking for, if you're still available. And we'll just get right on the elevator. We'll skip all the waiting, or as much as we could. Jelly King, I used to do that all the time though, before I had the gear and could do Vanaduke. But I remember there were plenty of times when people would just kind of, once I was at guild, they'd drag me along through Vanaduke so I could get some money. Not really too worried about this stuff. Alright. Fair enough. It won't let me skip this. But we're gonna go and find the first of the battle sprites. Oops, I changed the resolution somehow. Not sure how that happened. Should be better now though. Hope that didn't mess you guys up too much over there. Alright. Oh, I see him using a blitz and a blitz needle. I miss it. Here are some of the crates that they were in previously. Stunned him with the stun gun. So stun basically slows down movement and attack speed for a little while. You could still maneuver, but it's going to prevent you from moving as effectively. And yeah, this took longer on this one, but when you're running around, you can just go ahead and drop bombs to try and clear this stuff out too. Depends on your charge time and all that other stuff. What's going to be faster or where they're located. Like these would be a little hard to hit with the gun, so I'd have to estimate where the bullet was going to stop to try and see. I have to try and guess, otherwise it's going to go over. So in cases where it's not up against the wall, probably a good idea to just use a sword or a bomb. Alright, sounds good, Steak Ferret. And thanks for coming by too. Still can't bounce people with shields. Wonder if they're going to tell us about that later, because that was always a mechanic. Oh, nice. Temporary speed boost is always helpful. And let's just clear some of this out. I move way too fast for these guys to keep up anyway at this stage. And the only way I could really do the harder stuff would be if I went on my my main character from from years ago, since he has the gear to handle it a lot better than this guy. Hit the explosives early. Gotta wait for this anyway with the timer. Still gonna just run through now though. Just clear these guys out. It's also a lot of fun to do this with other people too. So then you can kite and try and have a little bit more in the way of strategy other than running around yourself. Wonder if I can hit. Yeah, I didn't think so. We'll set these off. We'll set these off. And then we're gonna just take these guys out here. I still need a key for this door. These gates are gonna drop probably when we do something to get the key. So, don't worry, we will be fighting those guys. That's not gonna change. I am gonna take this remedy though. Oh. Yeah, well, whatever. Doesn't matter anyway. You can only carry four items for the consumables like that. I could probably just run, but hit me anyway. That's why I never really liked the shield bash. I was more a fan of the dash. But yep, still can't bounce him. Don't know why. Oh well. Anything over here? We'll just fire a couple of shots, clear this out, and drop it right in there. And let's keep on moving. Looks like we found the some of the sprites. They do look a lot like dragons. Alright, so we're taking one with us. And here's our chance to demo the Draken, which does not make you think dragon whatsoever. But you can see you can use 1, 2, and eventually 3 for different skills. When you first get one, I believe you'll only have the first skill, but I'm not positive about that, so we'll just keep on moving here. And come on, I want to actually shoot that. And we'll use the one ability. There he goes. So he can fire at things, and you can see the cooldown down there. That's a health capsule up there. I'll probably drop something and grab that in a minute. Cool, cool, cool. And let's keep a move on. Be great if I could hit things, huh? I should really try shooting for them. And we'll put them to sleep, because why not? Which might actually have them heal. I don't think it has you heal though. But they are going to wake up as soon as they get hit, so it's really just a temporary stun of sorts, you know. Temporary way to prevent them from going anywhere, attacking, all that good stuff. And hey, welcome back, Steak Ferret. Didn't miss too much other than the dragon just doing that. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for joining and for leaving me on the background. I appreciate that. Always good to have the support. I am still trying to figure out why I can't push people back with my shield though. I'm assuming that once I get through more of the tutorial missions, they'll tell me about that, but I can't imagine they would take that out of the game, because that just seems ridiculous. And let's see, let's close that. You can see the map a little bit over here. I'm pretty sure there's a hotkey for it. B, okay. Yeah, so you can take a look at the map and kind of try to get an idea of what you've seen, and try to guess where you would need to go if you want to empty out the whole place. So over here is the obvious option. We can see at the branch ends, and we get some treasure for our efforts. So with the consumables also, the highest number you can have in a single stack is 3, and you can't have 2 stacks of the same thing. So you can't just sit there with 12 health capsules. You'll be able to get your 3, and outside of that you can decide to just use 1 before you would. That way you heal up and pick up a 4th one instead, but you're not going to be able to carry it with you. Alright, and into, I think they call them danger rooms if I remember correctly, where they kind of trap you and you have to fight your way through, and then when you're done with all of the waves, you can move forward. Alrighty, so should I keep stunning everything? I did not see those turrets though. Sneaky, sneaky. Just clear our exit right over there. And hit that side a couple of times. Cool. Alright. And no need to really do anything with him anymore, but we'll take him out. And we're done with this. That was a short one. I've been in some that have many more waves than that. But you can see at that icon, the icon kind of gives you an indication of where you're going next. You can see that is not a house like we saw in the last one, which would take us to Haven. But this is showing that we're going deeper into the Clockworks. So, level is complete. On to the next one. You get a random prize for finishing the stage. You can quit and not finish the mission, or you can keep going. So we're gonna keep descending. And the Draken also uses heat, so and later on we'll see more about that. But here's an arsenal. If I wanted to switch my gear out or upgrade anything, I'll go ahead and upgrade whatever's maxed out. That way there's more room to get heat on the gear that I'm using. So we can level these 3 things up. We get the Cyclops cap, the Proto Bomb, and we're going to level up the Vita suit also. And we're going to get out of here. And this wall, a lot of times this wall will prevent you from pulling back, so I can't go back there now to change my gear again. Sometimes you can go through it, but enemies can't. But yeah, there are definitely some. You want to be careful, because there are definitely some where you're stuck on that side once you go through it, and you could get yourself into a bad situation if there's a lot of enemies on the other side. Kind of get backed into a wall. And we'll drop a bomb too, because why not? We haven't really used that against these guys. And finish him off. Definitely want to try and collect your gear when you can. I carry over the items because I didn't go back to Haven, including the Vitapod down here. But as soon as I go back to Haven, all that's going to go away anyways. Looks like I didn't quite shoot him enough. There we go. You gotta be careful of rooms like this where there are explosives everywhere. You just want to be mindful of what's around you. That's right, I can't bounce people with my shield. I keep forgetting that. It's a good tactic that I would have used in this situation would have been to knock them back with my shield into the explosives and then fire at the explosives and deal extra damage that way. Now these guys are able to freeze. They're able to freeze you if they hit you. Doesn't mean that they necessarily will all the time. And you can see sometimes, you can see the hearts and the plus. There's a healer back there that's healing these guys. I'm kind of ignoring him and just pulling back and trying to just add some damage. I'm able to outpace him, so yeah, like that could freeze you. That after effect. And here's our little healer, Tenderfoot Mender. But he doesn't have an attack, so he will try to, at higher levels, he'll try to dodge and he'll try to escape, and he can revive people on the high levels. And he can also throw down AoE heal and bring up a protective bubble when he gets low for the first time. I think he only gets to do that once. I'll stop here, just because I don't know when the spikes are coming back. And around we go. Here's another one. Yep, you can see he would have tried to freeze if he had the opportunity. Use my shield bash. You gotta be careful with that. That's why I was never really a big fan of the shield bash. To be fair, I probably just don't know how to use it very effectively. But I always preferred dashing to evade instead. I stopped too soon. Just trying to lay down another bomb. Alrighty. Onwards and downwards, I suppose. Seeing as we're in the Clockworks. Not that we're up to the end of the level or anything, but... And we'll just get rid of that turret before we worry about these guys. At least we won't have any projectiles to keep an eye on. We just need to dodge the moving targets. Looks like I froze him. And usually the way freeze will work is it will break if somebody hits you, but it'll damage you, if I remember correctly, if they let it time out and they don't break it. So, depending on what you're going for, you might just want to hold them in place for a little while, or you might want to try and rack up some extra damage and run away from them. Alright, perfect example of when you need a ranged weapon to open up this section right here. And now we can get some extra treasure and get a heart to top off. And looks like here's another challenge room. Looks like that robot that we fought back in the beginning, the one that we had to wait for his shield, is not up yet, so I'm not... I know I hit that. There we go. And he's gone now. We'll go ahead and hit him. And things that have a tendency to cause different effects. Traditionally, the charge attack has a higher chance to inflict it from my experience. I don't know if there's any, if there are any hard numbers behind that, but as soon as you finish off whoever was associated with that wave, then the new ones will spawn if there are any. And that also, that doesn't mean that just because there are 3 enemies left that they're all part of the same wave. So you could kill one of them and then a new wave spawns and the other 2 are associated with a different wave where as soon as you kill them, more will spawn. So sometimes you want to just keep finishing off one side, you know, one wave, or you know, one half of a wave over and over again, so that way you don't have to worry about 2 full half waves coming. You can try and balance it a little bit for yourself that way. See, unless he has missiles or something like that, I'm just gonna sit right here. Yeah, he's freezing up. There's some missiles. I figured with these barricades that he'd have some way to reach me. And his shield is down. And his shield is back up again. That's going to happen. A lot of these guys have a much shorter... Oh, wasn't paying attention. Have a much shorter time before they before their shield will return. So you'll kind of have to be stuck hitting them a few different times. Do you want to see what that ability does? Surround yourself with the barrier flames, enhance your defenses, burning nearby targets. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Could at least hit him with it. Now, cooldown so long though that I won't be able to use anything else for this fight with my little battle sprite, so I will just start firing at him. Ooh, he barely escaped because I didn't try and time the no reload. I don't know if the battle sprite, he might come back. I doubt it, but if he does, I'll use him. No, I'm gonna have to finish him this way. And that's the end of that guy. Pick up his stuff. Grab the treasure that's always after anything that's a fight like that. Just about always. And here's the way back to Haven. So we are gonna head back up. And that's the first battle sprite. Got gel drop for our random prize wheel. Sometimes you can get equipment. It's very, very rare though. And you can see everything that we got here. So you can see the levels again. We're gonna go ahead and advance now, though I'm not gonna wait too long on that screen. And back to Haven, we should be checking out the second of 3 different battle sprites right after we discuss with everyone. We got some materials, more fire crystals, prestige. Got a zapper this time. I may use that instead. I probably will. The attack speed is increased instead of the charge time reduction. So I will likely equip that. I'll do that right now, actually. And doesn't even seem like they want to talk to me. They just want to let me go for another mission. So let's go and check out what the second sprite is like. Okay, and this is I called it the ready room before. I believe that is what it is, but it's like a lobby. You just you can buy stuff before going into the mission if you want with your crowns. Stuff's over here. You can buy consumables, Vitapods, sometimes recipes. And they have an alchemy machine, they have an arsenal, although you can swap out your stuff at will in here anyway, as far as changing gear. And the elevator's always in the same spot at the top. There's some icons that I'll point out the next time that are on the mini-map. I'm not sure if they're on the regular map too, but you can always use those for reference to see where certain things are too. And we should be in an area with I believe they were the Mew Cats, if I remember their names correctly. So, got this haunted mansion type of feel to it. And these places can be rough. Restless spirits. Yeah, okay. These places can be rough because there can be certain things that are immune to your attacks, and the only thing you can really do, I should try hitting them, huh? Only thing you can really do with those is you have to go near the lights, because otherwise they're just gonna keep chasing you. They'll go through walls. They'll do whatever they feel like. So it can be a messy one being in these places. You can see the charge time is much higher, but I did shock him. Shock is going to occasionally paralyze him for a second, and also cause damage on those intervals. So he's down. We'll grab this stuff. These guys, the Silkwings, they're healers, so they're not going to do anything unless someone's nearby, and they're more. The other guy that we saw, that Tenderfoot Mender, was a like a burst healer. That would be a more regen type of healer. Good thing I got my shield up in time for that. Pushed forward a little too far. Almost got in trouble. And if you're doing like with the higher levels and all that, things will hit you much harder. So in situations like that where you know, instead of you get hit twice and you're down to 70% health, you get hit twice and you're probably very close to death. And these guys will leap at you. So it's a fun little arcade type of game, though. I mean, I don't know that there isn't something rather that is more current at this point that you would want to play instead, but it definitely, especially if you played in the past, the nostalgia factor, and it's free to play, so definitely give it a recommendation, especially if you have a little group with you that you just want to give a casual arcade-like experience, I'll say. It's, you know, something that's very easy to pick up and put down in a short time frame. So we got these guys now, and they have two skills that we can see. They have a beam of light as opposed to the fire burst from the dragon, and they have an enchantment where it will increase the chance of dropping extra hearts from enemies that get hit with the enchantment and get killed. So if you're running low on health, not a bad idea to have this guy around. I'll try and use that right now. I don't know how long it lasts. Okay, I was just reading what that message was down the bottom, but that's fine. At these early stages, I'm really not too worried about getting hit. And this leads us back around to here, so let's head down this way. You can see the lock up here, so we know. Thought I saw something happen up there, but that's alright. You can see the lock, so you know where the keyed doors are. And it's on the main map also, if you open that up. Just go ahead and drop that in here. As expected, more things are here to say hello. They heard about the stream, they wanted to get on that too. But yes, those guys don't bother me too much. The cats that we had before can be a little frustrating. These guys, because their dash, and at some of the higher levels they'll also kind of sidestep a lot when they're attacking. So they can be hard to line up hits on, and they will hit you hard too. So alrighty, got this cleared out, and gotta kind of search for switches sometimes. You can usually break lights. A lot of times they'll have a crown or 5 for you. I'm gonna clear out the obstacles right now. Music is different for this time, but the type of battle is still exactly the same. And that one's walking into a wall. He seems to love that wall, by the way. He loves that wall almost as much as Brick loves lamp. Let's put him have his misery, shall we? And the healer can't heal himself. I'm not sure if a Silkwing can heal a different Silkwing. I believe they can. So if you're dealing with multiples, you're going to want to try and get through them as soon as you can. Good idea in general, just because you don't want them healing each other or healing others for too long. And here comes the cavalry. I'm going to knock that guy back. Just try and clear out a corner for myself over here. And now I can kind of maneuver because they're slow enough and they're not all leaping because I'm far enough away that I can just kind of walk around the perimeter and fire shots in there. And that's it for that. Grabbed all the stuff and let's keep on moving. Alrighty, here's some fire crystals actually. We got token too, Grim Spark. Tokens you can make some unique gear with, but you do need a lot of them, and they don't drop all that frequently. We have full health capsules, so we'll see. If I'm not at full health, I'll use one. You can always try and use it. If you're at full health, it won't let you, but if I wasn't, then I would have just used it and then gone and picked up a spare, and we would have still been at max, so might as well heal up while we have the free opportunity. And we got 5 crowns that time, so a little extra money doesn't hurt. Alrighty. And we're on to the next stage. We're hitting the point now where they have a tendency to throw 2 levels at you in a row instead of just sending you right back to Haven. And we'll upgrade our gear again, because why not? Might as well make room for the heat and have slightly better gear anyways. Alrighty. And that's it for this. So let's see what this level has. See, already we're going to be cutting through a lot of boxes, and you're still going to be dealing with these guys. Looks like we're in a factory this time, though, as opposed to that mansion that you saw before, which is good because I am not a fan of, we didn't see any, but I'm not a fan of one of the, I'll say, environmental hazards in the mansion. You can get chased by something that does not die, and you kind of just have to evade and try to dispel with light sources. And as soon as you go into the shadow again, there they are. So, oh, and those things do not take kindly to you trying to block them either. It doesn't do anything. So you can't just run around with your shield. They're not my favorite enemy. There are a couple others that, as they show up, I'll mention them too, who I'm not crazy about. And let's see, we'll just keep on moving over here into this room. And the way that loot works, like all this stuff that I'm picking up, as far as the heat and crowns with multiplayer, it is supposed to exist for everybody, so you don't have to fight over who picks up what first. But you do need to go and pick it up. If I remember correctly, that didn't used to be the case back when I played years ago. It used to be that you would, especially towards some of the end stages where there'd be multiple areas you'd have to clear out, if you had a good enough team, you would split everybody up and have them take care of a couple of the rooms on their own if they could. And that way you could save some time and do more runs in the same amount. And anything that anybody else picked up would go to everybody in the party instead of having to go and pick it up yourself. But I'm guessing they took that out because of people just having spare accounts just sit there. As long as they didn't get disconnected from an activity, then they'd have 4 times the resources if they filled up a party. So that's my guess, at least, for why that is not the case anymore. And he just goes in a straight line. I could shoot him, and if he takes enough damage, the head, it'll just blow up also. So I knew I was trapped there, so I want to make sure my shield got up for it. And I've already recovered on that. We'll clear this out right here. And was there something? Nah, there wasn't anything down there. We already came from there, so I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. That used to be a lot more important when it cost energy to get on these elevators. You'd want to make sure that you got everything that you could. Alright, let's hit this. Alright, the lights are turning on, and we have these guys again. And it looks like there's different sections over here we're going to have to clear out one at a time, most likely. And there's one down. So now we'll work on these guys. Alright, that takes care of that. And this section, looks like there's some up there too in the corridor, so I decided to spawn them all over the place. And he almost hit me, but wasn't quite lined up, so I didn't mind. And see, I can shoot the head and take care of that too. Later, those guys, those heads will be homing, and much faster. So they do crank up the difficulty as you move along. And there are different, there are prestige missions also, where you can run them just to get prestige, and I think you get a little bit in the way of items as well, materials maybe, plus whatever you find while you're down there. But those are basically your dailies, and you can do some that are made for single player, and you can do them in that fashion or as a party, and there's some that are made for parties that know what's going on, and those can be really tough. Alright, looks like we got 4 things to upgrade. 5 more crowns from that. We got that token. And we're heading back to the surface again. Finished off with 2 of the little tutorial missions about battle sprites. We got 1 left. And we're gonna go ahead and run straight into that. And then it's alchemy, some crafting, and we'll see. We still got some time left. We'll keep going from there. Still got a good while. But before I go anywhere, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade some of this gear. Apparently the arsenal was not the place. I guess it's the alchemy machine that they want me to do this at. Doesn't seem to be the case either, so I guess we'll just have to wait until we go into the mission, because that seemed to work. And I assume if I was in town I could do it also. I believe it did say that when we read it before. From the 4 times or however many times I talked to the Forge tutorial guy. And you can also see name of the mission, what sort of stage I believe is down here. You can see what depth it's at. And they divide them up also. I mean, deeper is obviously going to be more difficult, but looks like I can't do it there either. That's fine. That's okay. We'll deal with the leveling later of gear. But there are certain cutoffs where they have them divided into 3 tiers. And it's suggested that you have up to a certain, these items have stars for how good they are. It's recommended that you have up to a certain level of star. Ooh, that guy's faster than I thought. Before descending into a new tier, you should have the right gear for it. Now, you may have seen that guy poisoned me. Poison doesn't behave the way that you'd expect it to from other RPGs. It doesn't deal damage constantly. In Spiral Knights, what it does is it gives you basically a debuff where if you get healed, you instead take damage. So you do not want to get healed while that thing is running, and you want to just wait it out. Which could trap you, could put you in a tight spot, but you're going to be in an even worse one if you try and heal while you're poisoned. Alrighty, we'll take care of these guys. And these guys, they don't really bother me that much. They're slow enough. Even with their leap, I know I can dodge it. I hit him with that, but he's healing himself anyway. And we got more of these guys. Unfortunately, I don't have any types of weapons where I could try and exploit some weaknesses, but on the plus side, I also don't have one weapon where the thing that I happen to have that's a weakness for other things, I'm on a stage where it's actually something they're resistant to, because that can be obnoxious when your favorite weapon or weapon set is what the enemies are resistant to. Alright, I'll just take care of these guys, and this guy fires spikes, as you can see. But the mechanics are all relatively similar for the different types of towers and things that you see like that, like the ice cube versus the jelly cube. The mechanics are fairly similar. We got a Vitapod, and since we're in the mission, it didn't automatically give us the health to fill up from the Vitapod, so we had to go and grab that heart. And looks like we found the third set of sprites. They love this music, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. They do use it for a lot of the conversation with knights and Comlink. Oh, that joke. Don't look now, but there's a ghost over your shoulder. Makes me want to see if there's an emote to facepalm, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. So let's see, he's got 2 skills right now. His one ability fires some quills that will stick to enemy targets. I don't know if it's going to keep taking damage from that from each quill target. Okay, I see how it works. So you hit him with the quills, they stick. I don't know how long they last for, but then every time they get hit, they'll lose a quill and take additional damage. And the quills also inflict poison, so that way they can't heal. And the other ability that we've got on this guy gives you partial invisibility and defensive boost for a little while. And it's canceled if you get hit, if you attack, you perform any action, right? So you're invisible as long as you don't do something. Just like that. Hey, buddy. So you can definitely see how that can get you out of a tight spot, how that's a useful one. But the cooldown on that is, currently at least, 60 seconds. You can upgrade them to lower cooldowns and to increase the effects of things. You have to check on each one to see what specifically you can do with it. Alrighty. Clear this room out. I would love to, I don't know if I'm gonna have time, but I'd love to. Oh, okay, I see. I don't really need the bomb, I can just shoot at it. So that's a pressure plate. Hold it down. Sometimes you have a statue you'll pick up, you'll have to put on some pressure plates. But I can handle that one. And those lights are coming on. Don't know what that really did other than open the gate and spawn enemies, but that's okay. So what I'd love to do, I don't know if I'm gonna have time though, I'd love to get the first boss, if I can. Snarlax. We're gonna have to see how quickly I can progress through this. I forget what stage he is, so I don't really know at the moment where I need to get to. And the only way I'm really gonna find out is by getting to the same series. This is talking about the heavy statues. You can pick them up and push them on, drop them on pressure plates, like that. Gun doesn't reach quite that far this time, so I'm gonna just grab the explosive over here. That takes care of that. And now we can get the red treasure boxes are more rare typically than the green ones. They have a chance to have better stuff. But right, so I won't be able to find out where Snarlax is up to until I am up to the series of levels where he's at the end of it. See, and that healer just healed that one, but I want to put a stop to that right now. I'd like to take him out first, so I don't need to worry about these guys. I could have tried to exploit that with the poison quills. I'm not really used to having this sprite, but I'll probably use him later on. Need a gold key for that. Can already tell what kind of room this is from that button and the gate slot over there and the one over here. So we'll go ahead and charge up our weapons. And here we go. Let's also set off some explosives while we're at it. Hope that we catch some of these guys with it. And we got him poisoned. Looks like the attack was enough by itself, so I didn't really have to worry about that. And we still got this guy. He has a combo attack later, especially. I don't know if he does right now, but you want to be mindful. They're pretty much all the enemies you want to be careful of along the way, because they can become very dangerous down the line. So, not a good idea to take enemies for granted in this game, in general. That bomb will finish him off, since he just stood next to it, which I'm perfectly fine with. Can stand next to that all he wants. And here's a third wave now. Put a bomb right there. That should... It can actually bounce them, but that's alright. I'm gonna keep trying that until eventually. See, and that guy threw his axe at me that time. This guy's got a flamethrower, so there's a handful of... Oh, sorry, yeah, Nightbot. Nightbot I just started using, so I'm gonna have to see how I like that. Alrighty. Got that key that we needed from before. We can go ahead and run on over. Oh, to show what you're streaming right now. Alright. Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop that here in case anybody wants to check out what's going on your channel. Is there, it looks like there's a space after the slash though, Apocalypse. Is that supposed to be the case? I'm assuming probably not. And we finished this level, on to the next one. I just want to make sure before I post it that it's not supposed to have that space. And on to depth 2. I forget what they go up to. I believe it was like 20... 26, 28, something like that. They go fairly well down. Just upgrade all the gear now that we've got that. Not sure why we didn't have that option earlier, but that's okay. Okay. Proto Shield's at level 5, which is funny because by the time it reaches like level 7 or 8, we're probably going to be replacing it anyway, so might not quite make it. And here we go. So these are going to respawn. That's that cyclical icon. You can always tell that they're going to regenerate whatever was there. Could be with these ghost blocks, could be the impassable ones, could be explosives, could be anything. We saw the explosives in the last danger room, actually, where the timed ones would just keep going off and then keep showing up again. But yeah, you can try and use them to your advantage too, to create some barricades like this. You know, if they were starting to press, and I could just get ready. Okay, here we've gone all the way around. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the last slot here. The switch for the gate above is very likely in this section. They do like to do that. Under a box. Happens a lot. And healers can be frustrating, which is funny for me because in most games I do tend to try and play a healer class. So I find it kind of funny that in this game I'm sitting here cursing their existence. Probably because there isn't an actual healer class for the knights. You have to just deal with what's there, which does add to the game in some aspect, in that you can't just heal up before encounters and you're good to go. You have to find the health and try and budget it if you're taking hits and all that. And that takes care of you. Now for the healer. And we'll grab all this loot. There's got to be a switch probably behind one of these three. Maybe all of them. Or just one. Alrighty. On to this switch, and we just keep on moving along. Cool. Alright. Hit the other switch. Probably get another enemy. Or two. And the gate's down now that we got both switches. And we just keep on going. We're gonna have to wait for this sequence to go off for a little while, and then eventually I'll hit the switch, hit the ghost block, and then I'll remove all this stuff. Just like that. Wrong button on that, sorry about that. Didn't actually hit the switch, but did clear everything out for us. And these guys can heal turrets as well, worth noting. So we're just going to try and clear these guys out a little bit here. Alrighty, and we've got the lumber. These guys are slow. They do hit hard though, more so in the higher levels as per everything else in this game. And I don't know if they do at this level, but a lot of times they do have a chance to stun, so you gotta be careful. And it's a pretty high one if they hit you. So just because they're slow, not as much of a speed threat, doesn't mean you want to ignore them entirely. We'll grab this treasure again. More fire crystals, that'll help with the leveling. And this may be the last danger room in here. I'm not sure about that. I'm suspecting it will be though. I'll just fire this into the crowd. Perfect. Throw some poison on them, makes it a lot harder for these guys to do their jobs. Same with 2 healers. It's a lot more obnoxious, so you kind of want to, if you don't have poison, you want to try and take care of these guys as soon as you can. And sometimes they'll yell mending if that's what they're in the middle of doing. So you can get some context clues on occasion of what they're planning to do. If you see the word bubble, you know they're probably trying to heal. But there are a couple of different things they can say. Like they say something different for the AoE heal, but was not paying attention. But you won't see that at this stage. It's way too early for them to be using the AoE heal. Alright, take out the healer, grab the health. Looks like I got one before. So we'll go ahead and just hit this guy. And here's the next wave again. Got a flamethrower. Gonna try to get rid of him before the healer can get involved. Okay, got rid of him now. I want to try and get rid of this healer though, because he is making my job a little bit more obnoxious. And the AI is much more adamant about killing you in the higher levels as well. Over here they have a tendency to kind of wander around. They're not really doing much, and occasionally they'll come after you, and there's a long cooldown between their attacks and all that stuff, but not at the higher stages. Got a flawed orb of alchemy, which was also new-ish since the last time I played, but I believe those are needed for creating new items and maybe for upgrading them from one item to a different one. Alright, so we are moving right along here. And now we'll hear a little bit about making stuff. Some of the prestige missions, there is one a day also where they'll ask for either a weapon or a material, and you can hand it over for prestige. I tend to not do that just because I'd rather hold on to that stuff, and a lot of times I could just do it with regular single daily missions, the not hard version. I'm still fine. Alrighty. Right, collect materials and recipes, make stuff. That's pretty much what he's talking about here. And once you know recipes, you keep them. You can see all your known recipes with alchemy machines, or with a menu that you can look at anywhere. Right, sometimes you need to, like if you were upgrading something, you might have a 3-star, let's say sword, and it might require that it's at least level 5, so you need to use it, level that up with heat, and then you could craft with it after that. Alright. And that's right, when you craft something, there is a chance that it will have a unique variant like the ones I was pointing out before. Just looking through chat just to make sure. I see a bunch of messages deleted. I'm not quite sure why that is, but that's alright. If something's going on with that, feel free to just send me a whisper and I'll see what I can look into on it. Alright. So they gave us some recipes from this one. They gave us a recipe for a sword, recipe for a gun, and some materials. And now for this, we need to create them and turn them in for inspection, it says. So we're going to go ahead to this alchemy machine right here. And first, we need to learn these recipes. You'll see them pop up on the left side. So here's what we need. If you're looking for a certain material because you're short, you can hit the magnifying glass. It'll tell you what you need, or where you can get it, for that matter. If it can be found in stages. So, cost and crowns. If you need anything special, materials you need. So then you hit transmute and you just let it fly. And we got one. So we got the sword. You're always going to succeed in making it. It's just whether you get the unique variants with it and what type they are. It's random. And then we'll make this one for the mission. I am going to go ahead and go back to missions. Confirm these items to be exchanged for the mission rewards, which they're going to give us back the same items just with some unique variants instead. So we'll go ahead and turn those in. Finished that. Gonna head over to here now, which is the lab, and we're gonna pick out a battle sprite. Now the one that we get though is going to be level 1, so it's going to take some time before we can really turn you into the sort of fighting machine that they gave us to check out. It's going to take some time before that happens. And they can definitely get stronger than the ones they gave us. And there's a summary. Okay. Alright, so we'll just give a quick summary. Focus on direct assault. Explosive projectile. Protective fire shield. Massive wave of flames. This is ultimate, basically. That's geared towards frontline knights. I tend to go with guns, so let's hear about the Seraphynx. Protection, restoration, ray of light. So it's, I think it's an elemental. Or no, actually it's not. I believe you have to use harnesses, which I'll get into later. And you can change what their attacks, what type they inflict. But we have that. We saw the heart attack thing before. It increased the chance of getting hearts from kills. And they have an aura that gives a light shield to protect you and anybody near you. I am assuming that that is invulnerability. I don't really know. So it makes it tempting, but I've done that in my main knight, so I'm going to take a look at the Masquerade. And this is more your spec ops type. We saw the poison before. Shadow Cloak we got to see. And inflict a time damage blast. So we'll go ahead and try this one. You can always get the others, but it's going to cost you a lot in the way of energy. So you're going to have to save up, and then you're going to get them at level 1 also. So you're going to have to level them again. Alrighty. So we'll choose him. I choose you, Masquerade. And alright. Further questions? I'm not going to worry about further questions. I know the basic gist of how these guys work. So, let's see. I want to get out of here and get to an area where I can have arsenal access real quick. Which, actually I could do in here. We're going to finish up this mission. That'll actually finish up the rank. So, I may stop after that. I need to see. It's still a little early. Earlier than I was expecting to stop this stream. But let's just go over the battle sprite real quick. We'll see what time it is when we finish the mission. So you can do this at the same place. You can change out your gear, whether it's in town, at an arsenal. And they have appetite and a favorite item. And you can see the skills, harness they're wearing, what they are. So what I'm gonna do, let's see, I have 12 light shards, so I'm gonna go ahead. You can select anything. I don't know if there's really any benefit to putting higher star items in there. I'll have to look that up later. But when you feed them, appetite goes down by 1, and you can't see it yet, but eventually heat will start to rise as you're feeding them. Nope, now you saw it on that one. So he's full now, so he won't take any more. Alright, so the way to raise appetite is by basically getting him heat. So we're gonna, let's see, we'll take the freeze gun, sure. We'll try that out. And we'll try this. Instead of the bomb, we'll try the fire sword. I went for this one because I've used the Seraphynx before, the healing protection one, on my main, so I wanted to try something different. The Draken one, that it said was geared more towards frontline combat, and I know he has the direct attack and he has the fire shield and all that, but I figured that the utility of the cloak would be really nice to try and get out of some tight spots. So that's why I ended up going with him. Right. And then these are always intel. Right, so minerals, 5 different types, different sizes. Once you reach the end of the level that you're on, you deposit that, and you can pick up another one on the next level. Everybody shares everyone else's minerals, so you just have to carry it as a team. And it's used to make sprite food. So we're definitely going to want to grab some of that stuff. This is a medium one. Oh, went right past it. Let's use the gun. They take 3 hits, typically. That looks like the one. Yeah, that's the one. Shiny. Shiny is the largest size. There's small, medium, large, and shiny. If I remember correctly, and it should still be the same, small is worth 1, medium's 2, large is 4, and shiny should be 8. So that was a nice find, although it may have been something the game wanted to hand to us. So let's see. Yep, when the freeze broke, you could see they took some damage. So this guy will go down. He can still attack, but the freeze will cause damage if you let it time out. Or you can just use it to hold them in place for a little while. And I am typically not a sword user, but I'm trying it anyways. Which, with fighting some of the high-level beasts, that can be really annoying because they have a tendency to teleport and try to teleport surrounding you or behind you when you start firing a gun. So, not fun, that's for sure. Shoot that. You gonna heal him or nah? You're just gonna hang out? Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and kill these guys then. Just trying to let you heal one and demonstrate poison, but we'll have to do that another time. And having this sprite makes that a little easier because I kind of have poison on command, as long as I'm willing to wait for the cooldown. That's another thing. Being that I typically am firing guns, sometimes I'll have some issues dealing with areas of mobs that are surrounded by healers. So at least now with the poison, I should be able to deal with that a lot more effectively too. So there were a couple of reasons why I decided to go with the Musker Wraith. But you can get all of them, you just have to spend energy to buy the others. So either real money or saving a lot of crowns and trading for the energy on the market is how you're gonna have to do that. Keep freezing on the second hit or the first, and I keep shooting. There we go. And I don't really care at that point. I'm just gonna fire until he's downed. Just make sure we grab everything over here. Clear this guy out because everybody's worth more resources, so just about at least. So for the most part, you want to try and clear out who you can. And I'm going to say that this is probably, let's see, key up here. Okay. We'll grab this and just move it. Looks like it'll probably be going to the left, but for now, let's put this down here. And we'll keep moving up this way. We'll clear this out. There we go. Yeah, he's healing him. Except he's not. Ah, the poison wore off. I thought it did, but I wanted to give it a chance. But that is how poison's supposed to work. Wow. I should try looking at the targets when I fire, huh? Can just deal with that. And onwards we go. Yeah, it's gonna burn. Yeah, I knew that was coming from where I was. But that's fine. Nothing hits hard enough here for it to really be a big deal. So instead, I don't mind just taking a hit here and there and being a little careless, especially while I'm describing some things for the first time. If I was doing a danger mission, I would probably be a lot quieter, trying to sort out how I'm going to evade everything, because there are lots of things moving, and you need to be aware of all of it. We'll heal up a little bit since we got that Vitapod. We have some room for health. And we'll grab this key again and head back. It does go this way, which is kind of what we expected. And into here. Okay, I see where it is. So I'm just kind of doing a little recon right now. I can not dash with the key, so you can't really count on that or the shield. Just wanted to open that up though, and then deal with these guys. I thought 3 more shots. Well, need 5. I thought I would have enough to finish him off. I probably should let the freeze finish when I happen to hit him with it. And it hits for like as much as 2 of these, so it depends. If there are other guys around, I can work on them, but otherwise, probably just gonna keep firing just to try and get rid of them as soon as possible. That was pretty close though, that swing. And that is it for these guys. Since we've got a health capsule right up there, and I'm already at the max, I go ahead and use one and just heal up to full. Waste some of the healing capsule and pick up the new one, and we're good to go. Alright, that's a large. And that's everything. I'm not sure, because I remember how these minerals used to work, where you would deposit them in at the arcade. They'd pay you a little bit in crowns for each one, and depending on what had the most for each, there were 4 different gates. What had the most, it would determine what sort of stages you'd come across, what would be in the rotation for the arcade until the next time that they cycled through. But now it's used for sprite food, and I don't know if there's 1 per sprite, but if there is, that still leaves 2 minerals that don't really have all that much use. So, and if that's the case, then the one that I was carrying was one of them. So, I'm not really sure about that. I'm gonna have to look into that when I get back to Haven. It seems a bit short-sighted for them to only have something that works for 3 of the 5 and keep the other 2 options in there though. So, and let's do our typical leveling of items while we're here. I'm still just trying to use the minimum since it's 100% success. I'm not going to bother worrying about too many bonuses and things like that. However, what I do want to check is, yep, see, he's already got 1 appetite back from the heat. And he can definitely get much more than that from running a stage. I'll feed him another shard. You'll see it goes up from where it's at right now, just before the H. And now it's more or less past the H. So you want to try and feed them when you get a chance, because you have to fill up their heat bar before they can level. Alright, and more robots. Seems like we've got a handful of these guys lately. Unnecessary shot, but that's okay. And we'll let that trigger. Thought he would need another hit, but that's alright. Hit this switch. I already see what this is going to do. Just gotta wait for it. And that opens this up. So we need something. Oh, okay, I see. Stay on the pressure plate. Probably couldn't reach that with my gun. I could actually, but just in case, grab pot, and the pot's coming back because you see that tile. Now we can get at those from going around over here. So even though I'm kind of getting myself into a corner, I am going to check out these minerals real quick. I'll grab the one that I did not get last time, since I already had some of the Veilstone, the green one. I'm going to go with some of the Moonstone this time. Trying to just kind of dance my way through here. Got them frozen, that is huge. And managed to escape unscathed. So knowing how to evade and how to handle that is pretty important. It's something that will definitely come in handy when you're a gunslinger. Alrighty. That was cute right there. Hit that. And oh, okay, I see. Yeah, you trigger the security feed and the lights, and they'll fire some missiles at you. But I'm not too worried about those. I can easily dodge them, so it's not like it's an issue. This is a fire pot, so it will leave fire behind and set things on fire. Things that you'd expect fire to do. He's focusing all his healing on that guy, so I'm just going to take care of him. And if you line it up right, you can double hit things and all that. Or, you know, hit 3 at once if you're swinging accurately enough. Okay, so you can see that was like a partial wave where some of those guys were associated with some of the enemies, and that's why when I killed the last of them, it started spawning more, and then when I killed the healer, that was the end of the other wave, so then more spawned. Yep, not really too worried about damage right now. I'm just kind of going in there and swinging away. Did not think that was going to reach me, but that's alright. And yep, yeah, he's dead. Alright. Okay, I forgot this is not a... It's not the type that will hit all around you, rather. And looks like we rescued these knights. Mechanical horror. Beware its deadly charge. So there's some kind of mechanical thing that captured all these guys. And it is protecting some of the sprites. So we're gonna go and try to rescue those guys. I assume that's going to come up almost immediately. That will be hitting what they were just discussing. And see, this is where the lights actually make a little bit of a difference, because if you're not careful, you can wind up dodging your way into some missiles or having to dodge out of them and walking into something else. So this is where it actually could be a threat, potentially. Just want to be, you know, aware of what's going on around you, that's all. style points. And go ahead and hit this. You can see how that can easily become a crowded space that you're working in, between the missiles and the projectiles from both sides, especially if you're not moving around a lot. Okay. Almost finished off these guys, as long as no one else spawns. We'll grab that stuff on the way out. But for now, we got a medium luminite. We have a small dark matter and a medium moonstone. So I'm going to take the luminite one because I know that that is definitely going to get used for some type of food. I'm not sure about the moonstone, so I'm going to leave that for now. But if I'm running low on stuff later, I can always pick up something different. It's not like I won't have the opportunity. Alrighty. Finish off these towers, and then I'll open this up. I just have a feeling that we're going to be seeing more enemies. That's why I didn't want to do that right away. But looks like they were all the way up here, so it wouldn't have mattered too much. And then we got these two guys. Now, these missiles are not going to hurt these guys. It's all... everything's directed to hurt you, pretty much, as far as the environment's concerned. We'll just get a nice little charge while he's taking the freeze damage. And just want to be careful of their range. You don't want to let them get too close. Alrighty. On we go. So, over here, almost walked right into that. So over here, you can see that we needed a statue for that pressure plate so we could get through. And looks like we made some friends. I'll deal with taking that hit. Didn't really need to, but it's fine. It's not like I don't have health capsules on hand. I have plenty of resources to deal with the damage if I needed to, but for right now I'm content to just let it sit. We'll get our healer. And then the tower. Yeah, I mean, you kind of develop some strategies along the way, depending on your playstyle and what equipment you have available. And we got healing anyway, so good thing I didn't bother with the health capsule. And there's another one, so I am going to top off now. But yeah, you kind of develop your own playstyle, and especially for if you're dealing with other people. Oh, looks like he's got like a defensive. Can't tell if he's. Oh, okay, he's dropping bombs right now. Didn't know if him running into me was going to cause any problems, so I didn't want to take that chance. And we're going to back up a little bit. Don't want to be too close to that. Okay, that's defense down, it said. Good thing I had my shield for that. Broke through the shield that time, though. I'm going to have to evade a little bit better. That's not bad. I am going to get hit. Oh, wow. I thought I was going to get hit. I did try to use my sprite there, but did not seem to want to. Yep, and now it'll fire at nothing. Oh, well. This The map is getting a little busy over here, so I'm going to be taking some hits from things that probably wouldn't normally. I'm going to try to clear it out a little bit. Sometimes you have to make those decisions about whether to focus on the boss, whether to focus on the environment. Oops, accidentally clicked off the game. That's going to cost me a little bit, but no reason I can't just use one of those health capsules. That's what we have them for. And we almost got this guy down at least. So even using the health capsule, I'm really not worried about this. He does just push you out of the way though, I've noticed. And he should be just about, yeah, it looks like he's finished. And it got rid of everything else for me too. Could have cost me some resources, some crowns and materials. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure if those guys would have dropped them. They may have. I don't remember from killing some of them before. But that's alright. You just get through it and move right along. Back to Haven, we saved those sprites. You saw them over there. And we get some more heat for everything. All the gears ready to be leveled again. So we'll definitely do that. You can see the minerals down here too. What we got, I'm sorry, shiny is actually 6 it looks like. I thought it was 8. So that's a correction on there. And here we are with another rank up to Squire now. So we're up to the 3rd set of levels. And these, yep, that's where Snarlax is. So it's going to be at the end of the 3 section. It's going to be 3-2, looks like. But I can clearly see I'm not quite going to get there. What I will do is I'll go through this, the 2 calm missions where I have to chat with people, and we'll deal with those. Congratulations on becoming a Squire. That's nice of them. Prestige missions. So I was talking about those before. Those just give you the prestige points and give you whatever they drop in the mission as far as resources. Same stuff you'd find in general. And yeah. Strange. I was looking at the chat and it looked like there's an unban option, yet there's also a ban option for the same person later. Not sure what that's about, but so these pretty much just give you those points, and it's more exactly what it's called. It's more for prestige, and just to show off that you did a bunch of them. All right, so they just want to talk about that, and they'll give me some points and sparks of life for that. And then we'll talk to Chief Geonite Wegner real quick. We'll level up all the equipment. And that may be it for me for tonight with this. If there's anything in particular that you guys want to see before I shut her down, though, let me know. And I'll see what I can do on it. And they're pretty much just telling us about the minerals a second time, even though we did, because you used to have to find out from the from this mission instead of having to be told. Yep, that's cool. Alrighty. So that takes care of the missions. Let's go check out the gear real quick. We're in town, so we can just do this anywhere. Upgrade the hot edge, the frost gun. We'll hit level 5 on that Cyclops cap. I'm sorry, level 6. My mistake. Same with the Vita suit. And the shield is also reaching level 6. We have some other equipment that we got from some of those missions I haven't really looked into yet. We got some different melee options. Super Slime Slasher. We got the big Beast Basher for damage against those guys. So it's all specialized stuff, especially early. We have a new helm that I'll go ahead and put that on. I lose some of the normal protection that I had from the Cyclops cap. Actually, you know what? Given the damage bonus for ranged, I'm going to keep this on for now. Even though this is a 1-star piece of equipment, I'm still just going to go ahead and leave this for now. If I'm using a bomb later, I'll go with the Cold Snap instead of the Proto Bomb. And we got a few sets of armor. These are still the same ones from before. Still the 1 shield. And we got some materials starting to gather. Got 1 token. So we got a few things. Let's make sure we also go ahead and feed this guy. He's got two bars for appetite, so we can give him 2 pieces of food now. And you can do that from the tab menu, that's right. It's all coming back. And I'll try and use the stuff that I have that's bound to the account already. But yeah, next time that I'm here playing this, his appetite should be full. Because it's also based on time as well as the heat that you generate. So even if you're not really going out there and generating much with them, they're still going to get hungry for when you come back. So you can still level them up, just not quite as quickly. But yeah, that should do it for Spiral Knights, at least for now. I really appreciate you guys coming out and keeping me occupied in the chat. It was nice to speak to someone who had played the game for a while before, even longer than I had, you know, as far as when you started. And let's see, I'll come and revisit this one again though, down the line. And as for right now, I'll probably take a short break, and I'll pull up Steam. We'll figure out what's going to come up next, but that may be a discussion in chat, so if you want to have some input on that, sit tight. I'll be back in just a little bit, and we can keep on moving on. Thanks again for coming by. I will see you guys in a little bit, and if you're deciding to head out, then thanks for coming. I'll see you next time. Alrighty, I am more or less back. I'm just getting something to eat really quick, but I am here. So I'm thinking Subnautica right now. Haven't heard back from Apocalypse. I know he wanted to play something, but I don't think he's still in the channel. If he is though, then yeah, I'll definitely see what he has in mind and see if we can do a dual stream of that. But outside of that, I'm thinking Subnautica right now. So I'm gonna go ahead for now and just end the stream for a second to split these videos up so I can post them separately for later instead of having one giant one. So just bear with me for just a second.